we'll try to record, and Kirk, we'll probably just say off the top what's happening.
Yeah, we do it. Just save it for the last. I think we save it for the last 10 seconds. Save for the last 10 seconds sort of thing. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. Pat, you can start recording if you got it there. I think that's what we should do. I think we should do the full episode and then last 15 seconds of it, let them know. I feel like that's the move right there.
What if no one listens to the end?
I guess it doesn't end then. It's Proper Ebonics. Thank you for listening to Proper Ebonics. Kirk and Alan. Hope you've been well. I think we touched base with you last, 3 weeks ago or something like that. I think it's pre-Thanksgiving. If you're listening to this in the future, we're near Christmas. Hold on one sec.
We're outside frightful.
Near Christmas. Yeah.
Tree needs some milk.
Yeah. That's
missing a few branches.
Yeah, it's not.
You got the first.
Do you have a tree?
You got the first scarecrow tree.
Oh goodness! Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
A tree's playing hangman. Yeah.
He said, "That's not real, Kurt. It's not real. Is it?
It's not. No, it's a tree that I got 3 years ago. It would be nice to have a real tree. It still blows my mind the idea of having a tree just inside of your living space and how that's an acceptable tradition.
Yeah. I keep a fake John, but real ones is maintenance. You gotta make sure you water them when they catch on fire, stuff like that. We having bugs and stuff.
That would be wild. Your place catches on fire because of the Christmas tree?
You strap it with lights. You strapping a tree with lights.
Yeah, no, it really is a hazard, but that's how the Scrooge is made right there. You put up a tree, it burns the house down. What?
That might be a good way to not buy gifts for everybody. Sorry, I burned my house down. Can't buy anything. I bet.
Yeah, you may legitimately not be able to. That's the evil spirit of Christmas strikes again. But with that though, we have an announcement for the people and all that stuff. Some of you have been listening for us for quite some time, and we have I'll pass it to you, Alan. Oh yeah.
We got two announcements.
Two announcements. Damn, I only know one.
We got two. All right, I'll drop the one that you're expecting.
We got 3. Yeah. All right.
So the first announcement to the people listening, to our valued listener, I was singular. This will be final episode of Proper Ebonics with Kirk and Alan. Sorry to inform you all.
First, Pat, if you could play the finale music, if you could play the series finale podcast music.
We had a good run. We've been doing this joint for years, man.
Yeah, man.
6. You know that, right?
Yeah. I think over 6. I think our first episode. Do you remember the name of our first episode?
No.
I feel like it was based off an LL Cool J song, if I remember. That's the thing, so our first 13 episodes, I think more than that, is scratched from the internet. So you can't really go down and find them. So I couldn't confirm it, but I was going to try to find it. But I'm pretty sure it's more something, or something deaf.
More, it was because LL Cool J's deafer. Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah,
right. You got a good memory. Yeah, I can't remember. I want to go back up on it. I'm sure producer Pat probably has it in the archive. At least the title is in the archive, right?
Hey, maybe, yeah, but it's not scratched there. And I think our second episode, I'm just going to go down each episode. I think our second episode, which is when we first had, when we butted heads, because I think the title of it was Punk Panties.
Oh, Punk Panties, yeah.
Punk Panties, and I was like, we can't call the episode Punk Panties. Because I forgot what the reason was. It wasn't just because it was called Punk Panties. I think it's the connotation, at the time, when I looked up, it looked like it was something homophobic, and I was like,
That's the thing. We should have been driving deeper into the homophobia. We probably blew up by now. You know what I mean?
That's a ridiculous statement. That's a
I'm just
ridiculous
kidding.
statement. Chris or Pat, you know what to do. Cut this out.
I was just kidding. But yeah, because we had to. You were talking about punk panties because where I'm from, punk panties just means like the underwear that little boys wear, like the what are they called? Briefs.
With like the red stripe on them.
Yeah, not
That's
not boxer
yeah,
briefs, just
yeah,
briefs. Like
briefs.
we used to call those punk panties when I was a kid. You know what
Hmm. I
I
used
mean?
to rock those out. That was a move like when I was a kid. Like for like a good 2 weeks, I was like, I have boxers on. They're essentially shorts. Let me just go outside with them. Like what's stopping me for like it's a layer of clothes. And my mom let me do it for like 2 weeks. I was just walking down Fordham Road, just boxers on. And then
Mm.
eventually, I don't know if someone talked to me or my mom, but we stopped doing that.
I'm glad you did because your bulge was showing. You were scaring the kids.
I was a kid.
Yeah, you were scaring the other kids at the playground. Like, watch
It's-
the kid on the monkey bars with his balls out. What is happening?
yeah, man, influencing. But back to the point of it, though. This is the final episode of Proper Ebonics, and yeah, we can discuss why it's the last one. I'll start it off. I know the court mentioned not to call this out, but I'm suing Alan. I'm suing Alan for
You suing me because I made a diss song about you that blew up too big.
yeah. And that's exactly why. It's like, yo, there's someone's pushing this song out there. There's no way it's that big. There's no way the song is bigger than Proper Ebonics. It just makes no sense. How are people even understanding the song?
Like, and you know you've been on the other side of the thing, so you know the tricks that I do, so you understand what's going on.
Yeah, so I had to sue Alan for that, and it had an impact on how we were going to move forward with the podcast. So we decided to put a break on. So that's one of the reasons why we were ending the podcast. So I want to make sure the rumors are dispelled.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie though. Since you did bring it up though, how you feel about that, dog? How you feel about your man Drake suing UMG, man, for helping
Yeah,
not like us be big? How do you feel?
I guess from a business standpoint, I could kind of understand if like actually it's not really. I don't know. Like I get it's not the most hip hop thing you can do, but at the same time, doing something that is not publicly accepted is very hip hop. So him suing could be the most hip hop thing that he's done in quite some time. Uh, I don't fully get it. I don't know if it's necessarily what Drake's motives are. I don't know if there's truth allegations. It could be because that song is all over the place. People do love it. I'm sure there's a Kids Bop version.
Oh,
Do you think this song is a Kids Bop version? Kids love that song.
A minor.
That's our part. They start dancing all over the place.
I don't know, bro. I feel like it's corny. It's corny across the board, dog. Like, Bull been corny this whole battle. He been proving why he not like us. Like he just keep doing things that's not of the culture. We don't sue because we lost a rap battle. You're suing because the song is so polarizing. You can't handle it. That's corny, dog.
And it is a damaging song. Like if I came out with a hit song and be like, "Yo, Alan the pedophile," if
Right.
you sued me, I'd be like, "All right, I kind of understand." That's especially if I was like a global company was pushing the song. That way, it's like this is all over.
It's
Uh,
not just that though. It's not like you just make a statement out the blue and make a song accusing me of something. No, this man did something, talked about his family, did a whole bunch of other things, and then had a song made by him during a rap beef. You know what I mean? Like you can't. That's like being a gangster, right? Being in the streets, but then getting robbed and then going to the cops. You can't do
yeah,
that. You in the streets, bro. You gotta come. You gotta handle this how we gonna handle it in the streets. You can't go to the authorities. That's not how it
saying
works.
Drizzy Drake, not the most gangster fellow.
No, Aubrey. He's Aubrey now.
Yeah, I'm not so crazy about the move sort of thing. I'm very interested in seeing Drake's comeback because I feel like this is the first time we're like hearing of Drake in a while, like outside the song. I know it's related to the song, but we're hearing from Drake, and he recently did a streaming podcast as well. Like it looked like a Twitch one where he jumped on someone saying we heard him talk for a little bit, and I'm interested in this hear the comeback for Drake. My prediction is that people are going to the culture, hip hop is going to welcome Drake back with open arms, and they're going to be excited about him. I think there's some fatigue when it comes to the song and Kendrick, and I don't necessarily agree with this. I listened to his last album and all that stuff, but I think there's going to be kind of like a pendulum swing where it's like, oh yeah, we want to see Drake back.
I think there are people who never want Drake to leave, and he'll have a fan base forever because he's who he
Yeah,
is.
it's true.
But the real ones know. You feel what I'm saying? The real
Damn.
ones. The real
Wait,
ones
I
know,
don't know.
bro.
I don't know. Wait, damn, am I not a real one? What?
You listen to Kendrick album?
Yeah, I listened to the album, but it's like, I don't know though. What are we referring to?
We're referring to, bro, not like us, dog. Like you are
Damn.
snitching. You're going to the authorities. You're suing people about a record made that you kind of poked the bear at and got that record made about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like the real ones know. Kendrick, he said it. Like the party must die, dog. Like all that, all that, all that fake acting thing that Drake does, all that fake gangster, all that disrespecting the women and all things that he been doing. He don't. Kendrick is putting it into all that, right? Drake's going to have his fan base forever, but there's going to be real niggas that never rock with Drake ever again.
Man.
Ever.
Well, I'll listen to a Drake song. I, I feel like Drake is very much like we've talked about this before too. He has his place in hip hop, sort of thing like that. Like there's some rappers out there where like I'm not going to listen to anything they do. I have no interest in it. But hip hop's such this big thing where it's like, yeah, there's space for people to do their stuff. So Drake, yes, it's very performative, and there's some acting involved and some ghostwriting, and it may not tap into the most maybe what would be deemed most authentic form of hip hop, if you want to phrase it that way. But if you accept it for what it is, it's kind of like accepting like an MC Hammer. It's like, oh yeah, MC Hammer has a space.
I can't let you put that on Hammer, bro. Hammer was a real street dude who took care of everybody in his hood, who held it down, kept it real, and was himself.
I mean, yes. I mean, musically.
I hear you. I said musically, Drake is never going to like. Musically, Drake is not going to go anywhere because there's so many people that aren't like us, right? So he ain't going nowhere. But the real ones know. I'm telling you, Kendrick just put he announced his tour. He announced his tour, right? He's on a stadium tour with SZA.
Yeah,
right?
shout to Ticketmaster. Shout to Ticketmaster.
He has a show in Toronto, right? It's in June. Already, they said that they added a second show in Toronto.
Oh my goodness! In the six?
In the six.
Oh my god!
Right. So it's like if you got that kind of pull to do a stadium in Drake City, where he's never even done that stadium, it's a lot of people that might not rock with you like you think they do. You make good music. You make good music. We give you that. You make good music. But as a person, who are you?
I'd be so annoyed if you made a diss record and then sold out a stadium in the Bronx. Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna sell Yankee Stadium 2 times and tell everybody you're a pedophile.
Like, come on, Bronx. What's going on? Yeah, that'd be a rough one. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm still very curious to see what Drake's comeback is going to be in terms of the music. Especially GNX comes out and we have like the Super Bowl, which I'm very curious to see what that's going to be like as well. Because I think Kendrick, he puts on great performances, and I feel like one thing that his stage production and even his videos, like the Squabble Up video, that was pretty cool. And it was like how much roots, so I thought that was cool.
It wasn't how much to the roots, which, he is so smart, right? Because Questlove was talking shit.
Really?
During the battle, Questlove was talking shit about how him and Drake was sending shots that was low blows and they shouldn't be talking about each other's families and things like that. So Kendrick seen that.
Oh.
It's like, here you go, Questlove. I'm not going to even say nothing to you. I'm just pay homage to you because I rock with you.
Damn. I thought Questlove was throwing like different sort of shots. I thought Questlove was like just doing like a diss record, but it's just drums. That'd be devastating. Little drummer boy right there.
I think that video, Squabble Up video, had a lot of cultural references in it.
Yeah, and, I love how it was. We know the song from Not Like Us. Yeah. Like the video for it. I think that's pretty cool of just showing like, because Now Like Us isn't on the album officially, but you could tell like he made it like afterward,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the songs on there. What did you think of the album, by the way? If you got a chance to listen to it,
Hendrix,
yeah.
it's amazing.
Hmm.
And he was talking that shit. He was shooting at Drake. He had some he got some love songs on there. He got all kind every tempo. I listen to it every day, straight through.
Hmm.
I,
It's
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah, I listened to it. I want to say like 2 or 3 times now. I like that reincarnated song a lot. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I was trying to figure out who he's talking about. Like they know the first two verses. He's like rapping from somebody else's perspective. And I
Hmm.
know and people were saying like they think it's a real people who he's talking about, or they were just saying like he made up scenarios to like
I'd have to tap banging because I kind of took it as that. It was just kind of like a hypothetical, but knowing Kendrick could very well be that. Kendrick kind of seems like I feel like a lot of rappers do this too, where they'll have a song and it seems general, but there'll be little nuggets in there where it's like, oh, this is specific to someone, and not
yeah
even necessarily like another rapper or like a known person. It's just like this is someone that's like local to my street. I think that's kind of a cool thing. Of like you have a hit song and you just shout out your boy in a way that like only your boy and fellas would know about.
yeah. I like doing that too with jokes. Like I'll write
Yeah,
a joke about somebody. Like I don't say names in jokes, but like you know this about you if you hear this. You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah. Shout to TC.
like shout out to TC.
It's the first example that comes to mind.
Shout out to TC. Rest in peace.
Man.
Yeah, man.
So,
Oh, I was going to say I want to drop my second surprise.
well, oh yeah, we kind of that's the episode's gonna break off into different announcements, so you got to listen to the whole episode.
Yeah, we did the one announcement. This our last joint. Y'all heard that. We having fun rocking now. We still y'all a quality show, right? But I got another announcement. I figured I might as well drop it on the second
Well,
on drop it on the last episode of Proper Ebonics because I held it the last time we recorded.
oh
Because
yeah,
we recorded it probably like a month ago and I held it because I wasn't ready to like do
yeah.
it. So everybody know I'm a dad. I got two kids that I claim. You know, my daughters are 17 and 13. I say it every set. The podcast people know. Yesterday, December 6th, my 17-year-old daughter gave birth to my granddaughter.
She gave birth.
She gave birth yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I am. This is Proper Ebonics with Kirk and Grandpa Pop Island. Yeah, yesterday, bro. It was insane. Cause had to get to DC. I got 4 shows this weekend, so it's like I told her I was like, it was Friday. I was like, yo, you gotta have the baby before I go. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see the baby. I told the nurse, I said, yo, I hope they had a baby before noon because I got to go to DC. Baby was born at 12:02.
Damn.
I was like, nice. You know what I mean? So she wanted to see me before I slid. I was like, I respect that.
Damn. You're right. This is the announcement. I forget. It's wild when you're like 2 announcements. It's like, what could the other announcement be? Yeah, duh. Uh, so one, man, congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh, you're a smooth faced grandfather.
Thank you.
That's
Appreciate that. My,
that's a
my,
very handsome grandpa.
my hip hurt a little bit, though. This might be side effects of having a grandchild.
Now, does it feel different at all? Do you feel any sort of difference, or like, are you allowed to say like the name and all that stuff? I knew of this. Obviously, I went to the show maybe 3 weeks ago. Pulled up on you, and then you told me. I was like, holy smokes, that's wild. Uh, and then yeah, I didn't recognize that that it was like now. I didn't know that this happened yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to. Our due date was January 10th.
Yeah.
And she gave birth a month early. You know what I mean? So yeah, it happened. I will say this. I will say that I feel the same. I do feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel weird. It was yesterday. It was
Yeah.
yesterday. Like I don't even know. I literally left the hospital just to go do shows. So it's like I'm trying to get in show mode. I know I gotta talk about it at the show. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, this is my first show as a grandpa. Like
Damn. They're gonna put
Yeah,
you up early. We
yeah.
can't have them out late.
Hell, bro. I've been telling. I gotta get the big font on my phone now because I'm a grandpa. You know, now. Yeah, dog. But everybody good. Everybody's doing good. Yeah, dog. I'm a grandpa. 36 years old. Grandpa. Yeah.
I think you're the youngest grandfather. I don't know, like a lot of grandfathers, granted, but I think you're the youngest grandfather I know.
In history.
I think so. We got to call Guinness.
No, look, my aunt. Shout out to Aunt Lisa. You may be listening. She was a grandma at 33.
Damn.
She was a
All right,
grandma
we'll
at
shoot the
33.
record then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know, we had babies young in my family. You know how I always say that.
Yeah. I will say, I saw some of your material on it, and when I saw it show, and it was solid.
Thank you.
You're building some stuff up for it. I'm sure it's like grown since then, but it's cool to see like that bring that stage. It was cool to see people's reaction because
Yeah.
like when you did it, you saved it towards like the end,
Yep.
and like you built enough trust with them where like they know your story, and then you drop that on them, and like literally people just like went, oh, it was like people were like emotionally attached to it. So I thought that was really cool to see.
Thank you. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you, dog. If this has taken my comedy to another level,
Hmm.
I never. I'm not gonna say I never realized, but this is the first time where it's like I know exactly what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and where the jokes go. It's
Hmm.
like I'm just taking my rawest emotions and my thoughts, talking about it, and I know right where the joke goes. And I've been in this interesting pocket, and I've been doing a good job where I do my whole set. I mean, I tell them who my kids are. Like you said, I build the trust. Then when I drop that on them, they just open, and I'm just open and honest. And it's been hitting differently than just telling jokes, bro. Like it's been
Yeah.
like a movie. Like when I break down how I found out and all the
Yeah.
stuff, like it's taken to another level for me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shout out to my daughter for that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
and you always had the perspective of like being like a dad, but like now it's like super parent up
Yeah.
there, sort of thing like that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, again, I didn't realize that she gave birth yesterday, and I'm glad to hear things are going like okay and that end. Quick question: is it a handsome baby?
She's pretty.
Okay, cool.
She look like she got my jeans. What do you,
It's,
what do you mean? She got my jeans.
I don't know. Some babies are questionable.
I mean, we good over here. I mean, you can't tell when they first born. You know, like, she go into her face, into her features. You gonna see.
Man.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
so
gonna
that
try to get you like a mug. I'm gonna.
I need to I need to come up with a name. Like I can't call myself granddad. Like I'm too young to be a granddad or a pop. I
Why
mean,
don't you go buy something cool? Go buy like a go like Skeeter.
I was thinking like junior pop.
That works too. That makes more sense and aligns with the whole grandparent thing.
Skeeter.
Skeeter may be a cool move.
You can have your grandkids call you Skeeter.
I hope.
You look like a Skeeter. I ain't gonna hold you. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's transpiring on that front. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's drop that announcement on the last G Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, producer Pat said G Dad. G Dad not bad. I like G Dad because I'm a G. G Dad. Okay, hold on. We might be on to something. Hold up. I'm gonna
Dang.
have her say. I'm gonna have her say. She'll think my name is that. Stutter.
Eventually start calling you Curtis. Yeah, it's wild out here, man. Like in terms of like I don't have any kids. I'm out here doing a final podcast with a grandfather. World's kind of crazy. It's,
It's funny because I put it on Facebook. They're making little jokes and nobody believes me. Like no one
did you
believes.
explicitly state that she like gave birth and like that you're going to be a grandfather?
I did a couple days ago. I said Thanksgiving is over, but my daughter still got something in the oven.
So that's I did see that one. I feel like that one it's not explicit, so some people may be like,
That's
what
not
does that
explicit.
mean? So I know what it means, but like if like for some people that's just like out of the blue sort of thing, so they may not. I think I could see how some people wouldn't necessarily connect the dots.
But what could I be talking about?
Food, buns in oven.
Thanksgiving's over, but my daughter still got something. I should have said a bun in the oven, huh?
Instead of the still maybe because it's like unless they knew prior.
Ah,
Then
see,
yeah.
I got yeah, I see. That's why nobody laughed. Um,
Mm.
that makes sense. But I think that people don't think I'm serious. Like yesterday, I said, I said, yo, these are my first shows this weekend as a grandparent, right? And somebody commented like grandparent, ha 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 ha, and with a question mark. And I said, like, yeah, I'm a grandparent. And he's like, oh, I thought you were just playing. I didn't know you were serious. Like,
Yeah.
no one believes me. So
Damn.
it's what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's. I was about to say, do we know? We do know. I was about to say other comics that we know that are grandparents.
And
I feel like we know like maybe I know like maybe I could count like maybe three off the top of my head. Like in terms of like local scene, like obviously like people like, if we're kind of like Martin Short or something like that, I'm sure he's like a grandfather.
I don't know.
I actually don't know that. I don't know Martin Short's. I don't know if he has kids. I don't know his deal,
Oh,
but
yeah, isn't one of his kids famous? Or his dad? What's his dad?
Martin Short,
Gene
Martin,
Short? I feel like
no,
they come from,
that's
I feel like they come from a famous family.
Bruce Babb. You can actually look that up. So, oh, Martin Sheen. Are you thinking Martin Sheen?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, because that's like the whole Charlie Sheen and all them. But
Yeah, that's
Martin
probably what I'm thinking
Short
of.
though, yeah, I don't. Martin Short's like the Three Amigos and all that.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't recall. Oh,
Well, either way, he may be a grandfather.
okay, cool. I do. I don't think I know that many comedians that are grandfathers in our scene because not that many comedians in our scene take care of their kids.
Uh,
So I don't know about what's going on with their kids.
yeah, it's so I was about to do one of my traditional shots at Kyle Neff. I was about to say, yeah, Kyle Neff, of course, he's one of those people that don't take care of his kids. I think in my head, I always kind of had it as like, oh yeah, we do this like rips on Kyle Neff, but eventually we'll have him on the show, sort of thing like that. Since that's not going to happen, I'm like, oh man, should I apologize to Kyle Neff? I will never apologize to Kyle Neff, but that's you get the gist though.
And so Kyle Neff, the most vocalized name on this podcast.
Yeah,
Crazy, bro.
Kyle got dunked on a few times, but for the last one, shout out to Kyle Neff. Shout out to Kyle Neff.
Shout out to Kyle Neff. Did you speaking of parents and things,
What?
you see people getting mad at Joe Biden for pardoning his son? You seen that?
I did see that. Yeah, man. So he pardoned Hunter Biden, and yeah, people are pretty upset about it. But it's one of those things too, where like it's all back and forth political. Where yeah, it makes sense that the right is going to be kind of like point out kind of the contradictions with Joe Biden, with him saying like he would not do it, then he is going to do it. Sure. For me, I'm like, oh, it's your son. That makes sense. I guess
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not really like flipping out over that.
Yeah. So Brewster Pat said, "Would you guys pardon your son?" And I wouldn't pardon my son because my son's not even getting arrested if I'm the president.
Yeah.
We ain't even getting that far. I'm
Yeah.
fired. Who arrested my son? You're fired.
It's
What do you mean? I'm not. I genuinely cannot believe the president's son had to go through all that. I can't believe it, dog. Like, because that was old boy in there. Trump was in there. Oh, he's firing everybody that touched his son,
yeah. Yeah, probably.
and he
Yeah.
don't care what nobody thinks about that either. Because
Right.
we all would do the same thing,
That's the thing. When I see the criticisms for it, I'm like, yeah, I feel like most people would do that. And wouldn't it be kind of wild if he didn't?
right?
Like that'd be a hard move right there. You just don't pardon. Like if I wasn't president and I didn't pardon like Skeeter Jr., like that would be like a rough one. I would understand if my family was upset with me on that one.
I don't want nobody leading me that don't rock with their family. So
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna pardon your son? I'm not voting for you. What are you talking about? That's
Oh,
crazy.
wait. Have we not connected since the election?
We have, yes, we have, haven't we? We our last episode we put out was November 7th.
I think that was the week of because we would have recorded before the election. So if we put it out on the 7th, that means we
This
recorded it on the Halloween weekend.
this is why this is our last episode.
It's-
How we not recording in over a month, bro?
yeah. Well, there's scheduling conflicts, man.
Yeah, I love you to death, but the scheduling conflicts. Yeah, we. That's so
Yeah.
funny. This is
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
people listening. You guys won't miss us because you never hear us.
Uh, well, that I'll say is true to some extent, but yeah, I think the people that listen, they enjoy it, sort of thing like that, man.
Yeah, no, I'm talking junk, but I do wish that we were recorded since the election.
Yeah, no, no, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
It's
man.
it's time has passed since it. It's kind of. I was thinking about it when it was like the 4th of December. Shouts to Jay Z. I was thinking on December 4th of like, oh wow, it's crazy. Like that was like a whole month ago. It feels so far away. But yeah, we haven't really. Have we seen much from Kamala?
Oh no, Kamala, she out. She is. Kamala didn't even come out when she lost. She came out the next day. She's like, I'm done with this. She,
Yeah,
I ain't seen her since the election.
there must be a relief part of it too. Like
A
if
relief
you,
that she lost.
well, in terms of like I imagine that's so much work, like running for president, especially like the campaign that she ran. Like it was like all over Pennsylvania, Michigan, doing it like every day, every minute is so calculated. So just recognize like, oh, I don't have to do this for the next 4 years. I imagine there's a little bit of relief in that, but ultimately, I'm sure not the result she wanted. It'd be crazy if it was.
Yeah, yeah. I know that when she was just chilling as the VP, we didn't see her much either. Then maybe she just got back into her VP role and
Yeah, it was the
whatever.
most we've seen her like the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem too. Though if we seen her throughout the last 4 years, like doing positive things and like talking to people and being in the community for the last 4 years, she probably fared better in the election. But they just popped her out in June, July. All right, here she is. Go vote for her now. Yeah, I mean, so maybe they'd have had her outside more. Maybe if they had a plan for Biden not to be president last year, we whatever. There's so many maybes and what ifs.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm glad I'm getting my this DC weekend in before January comes.
Oh my goodness.
Get in
Yeah.
and get out.
That's, do you think we'll see an equivalent to the January 6th riots?
No.
No.
What?
Yeah,
You
probably not.
mean the left? Democrats
Yeah.
storming the Capitol?
Yeah.
Hell no. They can't. They would that. No, we not that kind. Well, I'm saying we like I voted Democrat, yeah, but like I'm the people that voted Democrat aren't traditionally the people that are going to go climb walls to overthrow the Capitol. It's
I don't
usually
think
people like
there's.
trailer parks, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I know from the last time there was the march, like of a few marches. I don't think there's like a march this time around. I think there's a
March
kind
for
of an
what? What do you mean?
apathetic. Like when Trump first got elected, there were a few marches, like the day after, and I think just the week of. And like, remember, there are people that got
Yes.
criticized, people out like the hats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This time around, it feels like it's. I do remember that, Pat. It's like you remember the hats. I was like, yeah, there was like a lot of vagina hats and such. I feel like people are more apathetic this time around. Like people were bummed for like the first week or so, and then afterwards, it's like fatigued of caring that much about it. At least that's what it seems. One thing that was also kind of crazy to see uh, is recognizing like how much of a bubble that I may be in some ways because going into it, I kind of was like, oh yeah, I think like Kamala has this. Like everything that I'm seeing is like pro Kamala.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited about Kamala. For the last few months, it's been this way. And obviously, we do shows in Central PA and stuff. Like we see, like obviously we're in PA. We see there's Trump supporters, of course, and we know Trump supporters and all that. But it just didn't seem as big. And then you look at like the polls, and I was like, holy smokes! It was like pretty much like a landslide in parts. Like Lancaster, I think went red. Like it was,
It was always red.
yeah. There was another place I think somewhere in PA that like went red. That there
There
was
was
a few places.
counties. there's counties like outside of Philly that normally go blue that turn red. Like I think
Yeah,
Bucks County might have went red.
yeah,
But yeah, like the Democrats lost a lot of the suburbs that they normally would get. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Outside of the big cities. So yeah, man.
That was a little surprising to see, and not even like it wasn't. For me, I wasn't necessarily like campaigning and have like signs out and all that stuff. But from just from like a spectator's point of view, it was like, oh wow, like I maybe not as in tune with what's happening in America or like the thought for America. I wonder what that is.
I ain't gonna lie, dog. I ain't gonna say I knew, but like I knew that I drive a lot.
Yeah,
I do shows in these places, bro. He got like a stranglehold. Like so in like Democratic cities, Trump was getting a little bit of the vote. He might have gained like 2 or 3% more than he did last time, right? Which doesn't seem like a lot. But the Democrats don't get anything from his area.
hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like he's gaining 2, 3, and 4% in the city, but Democrats are losing 2 and 3 and 4% outside the city. So
Hmm.
they're not gaining anything while he's getting sweep. It was a clean sweep, bro. It was a blowout.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the electoral going up, and I saw like and the popular vote going up. I was like, oh wow, this seems pretty big right here.
Literally.
Um, yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I'm trying to be optimistic in some ways. Like I saw some of the cabinet picks, and I was like, oh, maybe. Like I'm optimistic, and I could be completely wrong, but like the RFK within the health department,
You
this
like
part of
that?
me is like, I'm thinking that it could be good, possibly. I don't know. It could also be bad. It just
I didn't think
feels
it could be
like,
good.
well, I guess like when we look at like the healthcare system, it can be kind of rough. Like when we see like the cost, we see like the addictions, we see like what medicines people are being put on, and
Yeah.
if there is like a holistic approach that's being taken, and from what I've seen with them, it seems like that's like kind of like his niche, that space. So I'm like, okay, well that possibly could be a good thing. It could also be terrible. I don't fully know, but with me trying to be optimistic, that's one where I'm like, okay, well maybe, but there's a lot of stuff too where I'm like, I was talking to my mom about it, like the whole when it comes to like guns and all that. I granted that's for like it's not like the left is like helping that situation a ton, but it's also not necessarily like outward partnership
Yeah.
with like yeah. So that part I'm not too crazy about like the gun ownerships with when we talk about like AK-47s and all that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think that any of us. I'm trying not. All right, look. So this is the first thing I wanted to say about there's not going to be as many rallies and marches and opposition of Trump this time like there was last time because I feel like a lot of the people that was putting together those rallies and all those marches and things like that, I feel like a lot of them are just spent. Like they spent. Like they feel like they put all this effort into a country that is showing you who they are. So it's kind of like I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna fight this and fight that when 60% of y'all voted for him. Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
I
that's what I
marched, I
mean. Like
marched
that.
last time. I marched last time, and we're back here.
Yeah.
I feel like they feel like that. I do.
Yeah, so we haven't really seen much of it, sort of thing like that. And afterwards, I'd be curious to hear how it's like in Texas from Pat. I'm very curious, like what's happening. I feel like it's because it's probably like a different lens of it, where it's more so on the pro end. So I'm very curious to see like what that's like. We always think of Texas in a lot of ways. Granted, you're in Austin, but kind of like the hotbed of kind of more so that side of things. So yeah, I'd be interested to see kind of what it's like out there.
They said Ted Cruz got elected again down there.
That's a rough one. I almost forgot about Ted Cruz.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm trying not to get back into where I was pre Donald Trump ever running for anything. Where I was at back in the day, I was out of politics. You might have known, like I didn't like.
yeah,
I just try to focus on what I can control, be the best person I can be, the best. dad, the best comedian, just try to be the best me, right? And not focus too much on that because when I do, I get let down and the country shows you who they are. So I'm trying to fight just stepping out of this and not caring anything how I get back. I know I can't. I got grandkids to look after. I know I gotta be abreast of what's going on, but boy, they make it hard to care
Yeah.
about.
It makes it hard to be abreast.
Make it hard to be a titty, man. They do.
Well, things can be kind of hard with that, and like we've done on the show, whenever we try to alleviate some things, let's get some suggestions to people, things that they could do for self care and such. With that, let's get some prop suggestions.
This is the last proper suggestion.
I know. Yeah. Well, I guess we'd always I'll text you a prop suggestion.
You can always text me suggestions of things you should. I think I should do in life. Hey, read this book. Watch this show. So that's what I told you. That's what I told you. Like the podcast, this iteration is ending, but things still go on. Like, we still do things. We still got my number. We still make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna see how the lawsuit goes first. But yeah, we'll keep that in mind. I'll give two very quick prop suggestions. One. So I went to an antique book fair yesterday, which seems up my alley, but I've never been to one before. I feel
like you were born in an antique.
I was just born in a dust cover. Yeah, so I actually saw the poster for it at Raven about 3 weeks ago, which I was like, oh, that's wild. One, I thought to myself, it's wild I'm at Raven right now. And there's this antique book fair. And then decided to go there. Shout out to Kate and Britt, friends that tagged along for this one. And I'm going to suggest checking out antique book fairs. This was at the Armory, 23rd and Armory, right out at 30th Street Station. And I want to show the listeners, or perhaps the viewers, all three of you, one of the purchases I made. Check this out.
Hey, what's it, a Bible?
It looks like one, right? It's Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. It's Russian lit. I've actually not read this. I have a copy of it, and it's on my to-dos. But I was looking for just oh, it'd be kind of cool just to have an antique book. And this one was it wasn't crazy costly. It's in really good condition. I've never had a book like this. This is top shelf on top of a library sort of thing. So yeah, I treated myself and got this, and I'm not going to read it. This is going to be just a showcase sort of thing. But I'm feeling pretty good about it.
So you're just showing off. That's you're not okay. I see. That's a
presentation.
You ever see somebody a bar, a bunch of bottles, they don't drink any of them.
Yeah, which I don't have anything like that. So it's oh, that's kind of cool. This is here. I don't have a thing to put it on, so it's just hanging on top of a bunch of DVDs. But I'll find some room for it and all that stuff. And I guess my last prop suggestion to the people. Oh my goodness. I suggest that people check out for what's called leg length discrepancy. Have you ever heard of this before? LLD?
Leg length. I feel like this is a disability. I see people that walk, they got a little limp.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit like that, yeah. So leg length discrepancy. For a lot of people that have it, it can lead to scoliosis, hip issues. Producer Pat says it can make you a pimp. That's funny. But essentially, everyone has they're asymmetric in different ways. Your one hand may be bigger than the other, sort of thing like that. Well, things aren't going to be exactly symmetrical. And with your legs, a lot of times people don't realize that one leg is slightly longer than the other. Leg length discrepancy is pretty much if it goes beyond I think it's 2 centimeters. I don't remember the exact measure for it, but one of the cool things you could do is just check to see if you have leg length discrepancy. And a lot of times you'll notice that one hip is kind of raised a little bit higher than the other, and it may affect how your clothes are fitting. It may affect you recognize you're getting more hip pain when you walk. I always recognize I had a little bit of this, but it's been a little more aggravated. and I think some of it's due to stress too, but on my hip. So I'm taking measures to make sure that hip is supported. So that's a lot of people. If you're having some hip pain, look at the leg length. That may be one of the causes.
Are you sure you're not the grandfather?
I know. Yeah.
You one got hip problems.
I was in Jim Thorpe walking around, and I was like, "What's up with my hip? I need a thorough gun my hip right now. This doesn't feel great." I've been walking around like inside the apartment with just one shoe on, so that like they're even.
So you got two different your legs, two different limbs. You got
Most
that
definitely.
measured?
Yeah,
You
I
got
don't
it
know if
measured?
it. Yeah, so I've had like the back surgery for scoliosis, and it was because like one leg is longer than the other, and like my left leg, if I stand on it, I could like swing my right leg almost like a pendulum. But if I do the same with the right leg, the left leg just stops. Like it
It
can't.
just hits the ground.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a good way to test it too for a lot of people. Like try swinging one leg while other stationed, and then do it for the other leg, and that's a good idea of the leg length discrepancy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm over here making fun of people that limp, and it's you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't get further aggravated, sort of thing. So I don't want to limp. But I just don't want it to impact my Muay Thai and such.
Yes. Well, while you're not trying to impact your Muay Thai, I am going to impact everyone's
Well,
lives on my next suggestion.
damn.
And I feel like this is something that I need to do better at. This is why I'm suggesting it. And it's literally pick it up the phone
Oh,
and call people. I suggest it, bro. Like I feel like too often we see each other on social media. That's like we may comment on a post and we think that's talking to somebody, or we may send a text. Like, dog, like I have a bad problem at just picking up the phone. You know what I mean? Like, yo, just checking on you, just thinking about you. Hey, is this what's going on with me? You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's my suggestion is like really pick up the phone, bro. Like, this we all get trapped into our phones anyway. Our phones are in our hands. Why not pick up the phone,
yeah,
call your loved ones, Jimmy, and because you never know.
yeah. That's a good suggestion. It's sometimes people get averse to taking phone calls. I had a long day sometime last week, and I was just looking forward to just going back to the apartment and just chilling out, playing UFC. And then I get a call from my dad, and I looked at the phone, and I was like, I may not answer this. I may not answer this. I was like, I'm going to answer. I'm not going to leave my dad hanging like that. We had a nice conversation. It was a short one. I let him know. I was like, he was like, Kirk, I'm about to post some photos on Facebook. I need you to check with your mom to make sure that it's okay that I post a photo of her on Facebook. Is her husband Tim on Facebook? I do not mean to disrespect. And I was like, Dad, you have her number. Like, you can call. He's like, Kirk, no. It
he
has to be done
can't.
this way.
He can't. You can't. He can't talk to your mom now.
So that's the thing. Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
So they,
Nope.
my
I'm
dad
gonna
has a
tell you
whole,
why. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, my dad has this very much thing where he's insistent on like, yeah, I can't go there, can't show up, sort of thing like that. Yeah, it's almost like where my mom, I don't. That's not a thing for my mom. My mom's just very much like past and like in a different stage,
Yeah.
and my dad just has that idea of like, well, it's a script sort of thing. So like, of course, like since we used to be with each other, it's going to be troublesome if I give her a call. I'm like, I don't think that's an issue, Dad. You can call her.
So I think that I understand what your dad's saying. I don't agree that. I think that he should go and be a dad around wherever he needs to be a dad around. Does that make sense? But I don't think he needs to be calling your mom. I don't think that he needs to pick up the phone at their big age and your big age to call. Like I couldn't imagine calling my baby mom when my kids are 30 something about Facebook. Like
Well, that's the thing. Why is he posting it then? Why?
right, he shouldn't. So I was thinking that too. He probably shouldn't post a picture of her on his page.
It was a nice photo. I saw the photo later on. It was like from I was christened, which sometimes I forget that. And it was so like it was a photo from that, and like she was in it. I'm like, oh yeah, because he just posts old photos. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't think my mom's seeing it as like, oh, that's disrespectful, or he's sending some sort of sign. My mom is just in a different space. So I think it's funny to kind of hear like, Kirk, it has to be done this way. You call, then you call me back, let me know. And I was like, Dad, I don't feel like doing this. And he was like, that's okay. It's so
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you, dog. If okay, I feel like it's the picture. It was a nice picture from your christening, and he wants to post a picture. Beautiful, post a picture, no big deal. But I do agree that if he feels like he should ask her, he can post. I think that should go through you. I don't think that he should be the one doing that.
yeah, I get why it's easier to go through me, sort of thing like that. Um, I guess on this occasion, when I picked up the phone, I was like, Dad, I'm not doing this right now. Like, and it wasn't even like I'm not like upset or anything like that. And it's funny because he understood. He's like, oh, you just don't feel like calling your mom right now. I'm like, not really. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he's pretty cool in that way. He's like, yeah, I get that. But yes, I agree with this prop suggestion. Call your people, all that
Oh,
stuff. You and I had a nice conversation last
yeah,
Friday.
that was yeah. We had to talk. I was like, I had so much to say. I was like, I have to talk. I can't text this. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times it's like I sometimes take a while to get back to text and all that stuff too. So it's like it's nice being able to have those sort of conversations.
yeah, yeah, man. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I think that your dad's not wrong, but in the perfect world, they would have a relationship where he could just text like, "Yo, can I post this picture real quick?" and that'd be good. But if they don't have that relationship, I understand why he wants to go through.
that's the thing. I think my mom would be cool with that. My mom would be like, yeah, sure. Like if my dad were
Yeah,
to text her, like, yeah, sure. But yeah, my dad sees it a little bit differently, I guess.
I
Yeah.
got those. You know, I'm bred and I come through a whole line of co-parents. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
like I understand. And like my dad goes way too far with it. Like
mm,
he ain't listening to this, so I'll say it. So like my brother was in the hospital, right?
mm.
And my dad didn't want to go because my brother's mom was there.
Oh,
It's like my brother 34.
yeah,
You gotta get over whatever you got with that lady and go check on your son.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's one where it's like it's a little bit of a where it interferes with like being able to interact with like your kid and just daily life stuff. That could be kind of tough.
that's the communication I think needs. So if it's like involving the kids, then we need to communicate things like that. So I think your dad's a little bit more farther or progressed than mine is. Like my dad is rock solid, not seeing his baby moms now, especially because his kids are grown. He don't even want nothing to do with it. He like, you grown. Why am I talking to her?
Yeah, yeah. My at least to my knowledge, like my mom was the first person my dad had a kid with, and he's had
Dude, that's a
two.
crazy way to phrase that.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm trying to get at that. Like
Like you suspect your dad got other kids out there.
maybe, yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, but like,
Oh shit.
but there's like he's had kids with two other people since, and the ones later, what the last one, they have like a not a great relationship. Like from what you're describing, like that's like a tough one. Like he does not want to be in the same room,
Yeah.
say the same. Like if you mention her name, it puts him in a bad space.
Yeah.
Like my dad's like a pretty like happy personal guy, but like you mention her, like you see the wrath. Like it's a little bit of that. So I guess with time, sometimes it helps situations, or even comparison of like, oh man, it turns out uh, Kirk's mom not so bad, sort of thing.
So he's not as progressed as I thought he was.
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah. If it depends on the situation, then he's not. Because my therapist once told me the situation doesn't matter. It's about you.
Yeah. Do you feel that's true?
Yeah, that's why. Yes, and
Hmm.
I 100% agree with that because I went into therapy because of how I was reacting to certain people,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, they're doing this and they're doing that, so I react this way. And this lady's like, I don't care what they do. You can't do that. It's about you. So I
It's
get that. I agree with that.
I'm picturing Octavia Spencer being your therapist. Something about that. Just, no, I think that is true in a lot of ways, like, especially when you think of like being a reactor, like reacting to something. Because no matter what situations presented to you, ultimately, like how you feel about it. But I do think there are situations that can not even necessarily like bring out anger, but bring out certain sides. Like there's certain situations that may bring out more joy. There's certain situations that may bring out more agitation. And I do think that situations do have an impact. Ultimately, though, like you want to like make sure that you are solid and you have a foundation. But I do believe in the idea of like situational. arrangements that could have an impact.
Yeah, I hear you, but still, you got to handle it the right way, bro.
Yeah, no, can't
And then
go
you
crazy on stuff.
can't tell the cops. Well, in this situation, I killed them because no, bro.
Yeah. Some people that really deserve defense, like, you hear me out on this one.
That's how you. That's when you get charged like manslaughter when you got a reason for doing it. You still go to jail though. Yeah.
Oh, did I tell you? I definitely didn't tell you. I got pulled over the other day. It
You?
was what? Yeah, man. I was thinking about like how literally that day I was thinking like, oh man, I've never been like pulled over in this car. Literally, I was thinking that day, and then yeah, I got pulled over, and then it was like by two cops, and turns out my not registration, the inspection, it was overdue by a day, which I'm usually on top of this stuff, but he was like, "Oh, your light is out and your inspection's overdue." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Literally by a day." I was like, "Oh," and
Yeah.
then I was pulling out the registration insurance. And I was like, "Damn, I haven't done this in such a long time." And then the registration fell in between the seat and the console, and then like I gave him a heads up, like, "Hey, I'm gonna use my flashlight to look in here," and he was like, "Yeah, that's okay." And then it was just, and then like another cop came in from the side. He had, as I was turning my head, his flashlight's in my eye. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is prime TV right here. It's nuts. Everything turned out to be okay though. I didn't get a ticket or anything like that.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool about it. But yeah, it was wild just that I was thinking about it that day, and then it just happened to happen.
I'm glad you made it out there alive and safe because
Appreciate it.
you're a black man in America, no matter if you see it or not.
I yeah yeah I see. What was that? Why
Because
do
you
you
say
say
because you say that you're racially ambiguous.
right? Because I'm black and Indian. Yes, that is a real thing. I am black and Indian. I understand. Like, I understand I could be seen as just black, and that's okay. But I am black and Indian.
Ambiguous means they can't tell that what you are, right? But you are a black man. So it's not like I'm white and I'm Puerto Rican. People can't tell what my race is. Like, no, we know you're black. We just don't know like what colors made you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know you're black. So
Yeah.
you're not racially ambiguous. You're more like ethnically ambiguous because
Oh well, that's a fun
you know
way to
what I
put
mean?
it.
Because
Yeah, ethnically,
you don't look like any other race but black.
that's what's up. it's it's just funny that that's been a common thread through the podcast.
And
It
we
just
finally
popped
got it out.
out. It's wild because when he pulled over, I had like four pics next to me. It's like I was like, I really gotta hide these pics.
I gotta hide these pics so I can look more Indian.
Oh goodness.
Yo, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Kirk, I think that's a good way to end this last episode, bro.
man.
I do.
After
Um,
yeah,
we had a fun ride.
we did.
I don't want to get emotional at the end of this podcast.
It's it's no me. I'll note something. I got emotional on the train yesterday. I was coming back from the book fair and I was doing like my reflections on the thing. And like I got thinking about that podcast and I got a little emotional. And I remember thinking like for the people, how confusing that is for them because I'm sitting in the seat that's like facing everyone. And I just pull out big puffy coat. I'm out here. I'm like looking at this book, smiling. I put the book away. I get out a pen and paper. I'm writing, and they see me doing this thing. Slowly, like teardrops coming through, sort of thing like that. And it's like, oh man. And I looked up as like most of the people were coming out on the Paoli stop, and some of them like checked in. Like, it was a very ridiculous thing, but
I'm okay.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss the idea of being able to like talk and like. I was thinking of like I was looking at topics today. And I was like, man, every major topic that's happened over the last like 6 years, like we've talked about on Proper Ebonics.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, you've been a great thought partner, and we'll continue to be thought partners, even if
Yeah.
not on the podcast. But yeah, this is something I've been very proud of.
The people listening, we're gonna end this podcast, but you can still watch us do things. I mean, so it's like
Hmm.
we may not be doing this thing, but we'll be doing other things. I mean, like we're still friends. We're still funny. It's not like yeah, we're just think. It's all. So yeah, no love.
If you see us at the show, you're welcome to say, "What's up, Proper Ebonics?"
Oh
Like
yeah,
if we're in a unit, it's forever Proper Ebonics. That includes Pat.
and we might have stickers by then. We were talking about stickers for years.
Man, I would love if like next time we pull up to Phantom, maybe someone shows up. Maybe it's Kyle Neff. They have a Proper Ebonics tattoo. That'd be
Yeah, right.
cool. I don't have any tattoos, but like I did think about the idea of like I'm not gonna get a Proper Ebonics tattoo, but a Proper Ebonics tattoo would be kind of cool, like a PE, like right there.
The tramp stamp.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna do that, man. Come on, especially my leg length discrepancy. Trying to
Right.
stamp on me, like why is it slanted? You got
That's
slanted.
crazy. Because your leg discrepancy, you probably be twerking every time you walk. That's
Oh, come
crazy.
on, man. I'd be looking juicy out here.
That's crazy, but start tipping Kirk every time I see him.
Oh, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Oh
And,
man.
but check us out on the streets. As always, continue to take your vitamins and such. Alan, you have any shows you want to promote and all that?
Yeah, man. Saturday the 14th. I got a show in Lancaster, and I don't do those often.
Mm.
Two shows out in Marietta. You watching this? Come to that.
Yeah.
Um, other than that, the end of the year, I'll be running around. But yeah, the 14th. It's come out by the 14th. Come to that, John. It's going to be on my page, the
Mm.
Proper Ebonics page. You can go over there for memories if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Before Alan's show, if you want to come out Friday the 13th in Philadelphia, I'll be at Rittenhouse. Is it Rittenhouse Square? I don't know. Rittenhouse, look up the Fun House. I'll be there. That'll be a fun show. And then later, I'll be in Delaware that night for Comedy on the Moon. I should probably should have gotten a name first, but it's Sean Combs. No, not Sean Combs.
You might not want to go to that show.
Delaware Diddy Party. I'm showing up at 10:30.
Yo, you got a
Me and
late
my
show.
old. Yeah. No, shots. It's at like a Mexican restaurant in Delaware. I'm gonna pull up for that one, and yeah, it should be cool. And in a month, I'm doing something at POV at the Vintage Club. I think it's a strip club. I don't know
It's
what it
called
is exactly.
It's the Village.
That makes more sense. Yo, check out the Village in December 26th. It may or may not be a strip club. I'm not fully sure, but I'm looking forward
It's
to it.
not. It's not a strip club.
Damn.
I've seen the flyer. It's a nightclub. It's like a DJ music plays, people dance on dance floor type club.
So I saw a nightclub and I was like, that's code. That's code for strip club.
No, it just opened back up. It was closed for a couple years, but yeah, it's just a dance club.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
So I'll be
yeah.
there. Well, cool, man. As always, yeah, thanks for listening to Proper Ebonics. If you've been a day one listener, we appreciate it. And be easy. Peace.